Hey guys, Bird Yugioh here, coming at you with another deck profile. So right off the bat, I just want to thank you guys. We got to 1,000. This isn't going to be 1,000 subscriber anything. I just want to thank you guys. Tomorrow I will try to do like a little announcement video, so for kind of what I'm thinking of doing for 1,000 subscribers. It kind of happened quicker than I thought. I was planning on doing it this weekend, but I already hit 1,000 on Friday. But yeah, so today we're doing an updated counter fairy deck with this new support, this Parshath card. It's pretty good. I'll kind of go over that when we get to it. But yeah, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And we'll get right into this with one of your better monsters. I wouldn't say it's the best one, but it's definitely a really good one, because each time a counter trap is activated, you just draw a card, so it just gains you some really nice advantage. You know, hopefully you hope to activate the counter trap and then off of that draw another trap. That's always really nice. 1600 attack. It's a really nice card to see going first. And then 3 Guiding Ariadne. This might be the best one, just because of its scale effect. So basically you just activate this in the scale, and you don't have to pay life points to activate counter traps, and you don't have to discard. So we basically, like a judgment, solemn judgment is just free. So you don't have to pay those life points. You don't have to pay half your life points, just a free negate. So this card is absolutely necessary in counter fairies. And then we're playing 2 Minerva. I do really like Minerva. I believe in my past video, my older version of this, I played this at 1, and sometimes I still like to do that, but it has a decent effect. And we're actually in this version playing Pot of Desires, and another draw cards from the sky, which I found I just like to see, maybe 1 to 2 fairies in hand. But Minerva is pretty good. Each time a counter trap is activated, immediately after it resolves, this card gains 500 attack. And if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you can add a counter trap with a different name from your graveyard to your hand. So it's got 2 very decent effects. You can get her up to some pretty good, it's pretty high attack. Like if you activate 3 traps, you're gaining 1,500. So she's going to be at 3,200 just right there. So kind of a cool card. And then we played 2 Meltiel. He's another decent one. Each time a counter trap is activated, immediately after it resolves, you gain 1,000 life points. And if Sanctuary is on the field, you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. So potentially just, gaining life points is really nice, especially in a counter deck. If you don't happen to have Ariadne, you are still going to be paying life points for your solemns and stuff, so it might be nice to gain some life points off of him. And then destroying a card if you have Sanctuary is also really nice. So 2 again for each of them. And then we're also playing 2 Power Angel Valkyria. She's probably the least most important one, but then again, in this version, she is kind of nice because like I said, Pot of Desires will potentially be banishing them, and then cards from the sky, you do actually want to see a light fairy. But basically, if you negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect, you can add 1 light fairy from your deck to your hand. So really good search power for her. And we also play 2 Sacred Arch Air Knight Parshath. This is your main one you'll be summoning either off of its own effect, or off of this Rebirth of Parshath, because it's a very nice card. So if you activate a counter trap, or if you negate the activation of a spell or trap card or monster effect, you can banish 2 other fairy monsters from your hand, field, or graveyard, and then you can special summon him. And basically, this card can attack a defense position monster and inflict piercing battle damage. And then when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can add 1 Parshath card or just 1 counter trap from your deck to your hand. So it's absolutely amazing. It's got 2,800 attack, so It's going to be one of your main beaters, your damage guy right there. And I decided to go with 2 Honest. Again, kind of the same reason we went with 2 of all these, Pod Desires and everything, but also just for getting over problem cards. Honest is really nice. And then the last fairy we play is Barrier Statue of the Heavens. Play Ties of the Brethren, so this card is absolutely amazing. Just shuts off your opponent from summoning anything, except for special summoning anything except for light monsters. So, really, really good card. That's it for the monsters, the spells. Play 3 Sanctum of Parshath. This card becomes Sanctuary in the Sky, so for a lot of those cards that require Sanctuary in the Sky to be on the field, this becomes that. And then fairy monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. Set spells and traps cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects, so that'll protect your back row, obviously. And then once per turn, you can target a total of 3 fairy monsters and or counter traps in your graveyard and put them on the top of the deck in any order. So it's just really, really good card. I like it a lot. And then 3 Ties of the Brethren. This, along with, opening up like an Artemis is just really nice. Just getting a couple of bodies on board and getting that, hopefully that barrier statue. And sometimes what you can even do is normal summon, the Artemis, and the special summon statue and Honest, and then add that Honest back to hand to just protect either one. Or mostly it's going to be barrier statue you want to protect, but from getting destroyed by battle. But yeah, Ties of the Brethren, absolutely amazing in this deck. And then we definitely need some draw power. 2 Pot of Desires. Just draw 2. I mean, you banish 10 cards, but that doesn't matter in a deck like this. With all the counter traps you're playing 3 of all of your counter traps. And that's really all you want to see, all you need to see in this deck. So Pot of Desires just gets you there. Cards from the Sky, we're playing, like I showed you, a little bit higher monster count. So all you have to do with this, just banish 1 light fairy monster from your hand and draw 2 cards. Really nice. You can't special summon or conduct your battle phase, but this deck does not rely on special summoning and does not rely on doing stuff in the battle phase or even attacking very much. So this card is really nice. And the other one, the last one we play is 2 Pot of Duality. I just wanted 3 ways of drawing, depending on what you're doing. Obviously you're not going to activate, or hope not to activate, cards from the sky, or have it if you have Ties of the Brethren. Same thing with the Pot of Duality, but then you want to see that. So you have options here. I just like to have options, especially with your draw cards. And that is it for the spells. Not too much. And the bulk of the deck, or the best part of the deck, is going to be your counter traps. 3 Solemn Strike, negating monster effects or when monsters are special summoned. Solemn Warning, negating a summon, or when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that includes the effect of special summon. So like a fusion, polymerization, something like that. It's a really nice card to have. So Should Alls, that card is very good against. And then 3 Solemn Judgment. When a monster be summoned, spell, trap, card activated, you just negate the summoner activation and destroy it. Pay half your life points. So, and the other ones we play, 3 Rebirth of Parshath. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, you have to reveal 1 counter trap in your hand, discard a card, and pay 1,000 life points. And then you negate the activation and shuffle that into the deck. So it's very, very good, obviously, if you have Guiding Ariadne, because you're not discarding and you're not paying life points. And then you can also, after you do that, you can then special summon 1 Parshath monster from your deck or extra deck. So the one in the deck, obviously, is going to be Arch Air Knight Parshath, and the one from the extra deck is going to be this Celestial Night Lord Parshath. That's basically the only way you're going to get him out. And he's got a good effect we'll go over here later. And then the last 3 cards we play, 3 Divine Punishment. It's the next best. If you don't have any of these, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, while the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So it's another basically Solemn Judgment, but you just have to have that Sanctuary in the Sky. And we now have, with that Link monster, a very easy way of getting to this card and the Sanctuary in the Sky. So, on to the extra deck. Play 2 of this guy. Like I said, he requires 2 plus fairy monsters, but it's a Link 3. But basically, so you're going to be getting out with that trap most of the time. Celestial Night Lord Parshath. And so summoning him out like that, the main effect you're going to be using is you discard a card and add 1 Sanctuary in the Sky, or 1 card that specifically lists the Sanctuary in the Sky from your deck to your hand. If Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field already, when you activate that effect, you can add 1 fairy monster from your hand instead. So he is nice. That's the main effect you're going to be using. He also, his other effect, if another face-up fairy monster you control is sent to the graveyard, you can banish 1 fairy from your graveyard and special summon 1 fairy from your hand whose level is higher than that monster. So basically that effect is only good if you have Air Knight Parshath in hand, because everything else is all just level 4, the same level, and you need one that's higher. So you're, like I said, mostly you're using that first effect, so you can search out, one of these. You can search out your Sanctum, and then you can also search out your Meltiel or your Minervas. So those are all your targets basically for that search. So it is a very decent card for this deck. And then we play 1 Herald of Mirage Lights. It's just another nice negate if you happen to have 2 monsters on the field with the same type or attribute. And then it's just simply when a spell, trap, or effect is activated, you can just send 1 fairy monster from your hand to the graveyard and negate the activation and destroy it. So just a really nice hard negate. And then just for getting rid of problematic cards if you have more monsters on board, Nightmare Phoenix for spells and traps, Cerberus for monsters, Unicorn for getting rid of really anything. And then Ningirsu is kind of nice. If you can make it, it's just non-targeting removal basically. You just send 1 card from each player's field to the graveyard. So it's just non-targeting removal, like I said, just getting rid of very problematic cards. And then Topologic, just another monster you can link up into and just get rid of potentially some spells and traps. And then the rest of the cards we play are just some rank 4s, because we do play a lot of level 4s in the deck. So Utopia Lightning, I still like it. I didn't want to play the brick of double or nothing in the deck, so I just don't like to play that. I prefer to play this. And we have Honest as well, so you could potentially get him up pretty dang high and just attack 5,000 to your opponent basically if you have Honest in hand. And then 1 Fairy Cheer Girl for some draw power. She just requires 2 level 4 fairy types. You just detach 1, draw a card. Simple as that. Dugaris for really whatever you need. Draw power, special summon from grave, or boost the attack of a monster. Tornado Dragon for problems, spells, and traps. Emerald, in case you have, gone into quite a few of these, get you some draw power. And then Baguska. That's just for sitting on if you happen to get 2 monsters on board. Potentially really nice to just sit on with some back row and just get some monsters on board and just win the match. So that's the deck, guys. I think I just really like this new Link card. And I kind of went with just more like a streamlined version of this. Really like Ties of the Brethren and Barrier Statue, so I just could not take that out. And you can play it however you want. I think the traps are almost like perfect, but you can of course play around with the ratios up here and play other cards that you want. But that's the deck, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow with another video hopefully, and catch you on the next one.